Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Di yang nomor 2 itu yang tadi merah ke kiri ya.
Sudah berlayar.
Sudah baru kemarin.
Oh ya.
Assalamualaikum. Maybe Brother Ifan or Brother Indra, can you hear me? All right?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Good. Sounds good.
Okay, inshallah, we will start. Bear with me. Okay. And let us together begin in the name of Allah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna 'ilma. Subhanaka Allahumma la 'ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Allahumma arhamna bil Qur'an waj'alil Qur'ana hujjatan lana wa la hujjatan 'alaina. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Send blessings and salutations upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his entire family, his entire household, and all of his companions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless them all and to bless every single one of us. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Brothers and sisters, Hafidhakumullah. We hope you and your family are doing well, and Jazakumullah khair for brothers and sisters who have come early today on Zoom and here. But, can you help to close the door? Alhamdulillah, today, inshallah, we will continue our course, the Tuhfatul Atfal. We'll discuss the book of Tuhfatul Atfal, and inshallah, we'll go into the next chapter, which is Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, and Mutajānisayn. Fil Mithlayn wal Mutaqāribayn wal Mutajānisayn. In summary or in general, it is the Idghām between letters. So we've learned about Idghām in Nun Sakina, Idghām in Mim Sakina, and the other day, in last week, we have also learned Idghām in Lam Sakina or Idghām Shamsiyya. And there are other Idghāms, and we will cover all of those, or the concept, inshallah, today on this topic. And haven't shared this in the group. Inshallah, we'll touch the hadith later because there's quite a bit of topic for today. Okay, let's skip this. And today the agenda, inshallah, will review the previous sessions first, especially the last one was rules of lam al and lam fi'l, and then we touch the new topics, which is idghām between letters, Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, and Mutajānisayn. And alhamdulillah, in terms of Tuhfatul Atfal, as we've discussed, covered previously, it's 50% around nun sakina and tanween and mim sakina. So all of those topics, and 50% about mad. And inshallah, film Mithlayn Mutaqāribayn Mutajānisayn is the last topic out of outside the mad. And starting from the next session, we'll touch the mad, which will discuss the ahkam mad, aqsam, the types of mad, and so on. And that's just to remind you in terms of general what we will cover. And today, but Mithlayn, and so on. And just to let us quickly review, just a quick one. And at the first of actually on the second session, we touched the rules of nun sakinah and tanween. How many of them? How many are the rules? How many rules? 4. Yeah, 4. 4. And the first one is al-awwal is idghām. Idghām. And the second is والثاني idghām. Idghām. Yarmaluna. And then the third one is iqlab. And the fourth one is warabi'ul ikhfa. And those are the letters. And after that, we move on to mim sakina. There are 3: ikhfa, idghām, and idhar. فالأول إخفاء والثاني إدغام والثالث الإظهار. And those are the examples. Then the rules of lam, al, and lam fi'l. There are 2: idhar and idghām. Idhar, also known as lam qamariyya. Al-qamar, if we remember al-qamar, the lam is read as idhar, al-qamar. And idghām, also known as lam shamsiyya. The lam is read as idghām. It's not al-shams, but ash-shams. And those are the letters. ابغي حجك وخف عقيمه انقب ثم صيرح من تفوز ضيف دانئا دع سوء ظن زر شريفا للكرام. Except for lam fi'l, and lam fi'l only idhar. So those are rules of lam al and lam fi'l. So well, that was, so and that was one of the examples, like in the قلنا and والتقى. So last time we discussed that ta is shamsiya under here. So let's say at-taqwa, we do idghām in ta, but however, like in this, because that is, the lam is part of a verb, part of fi'l, so we don't read wattaqu but waltaqu, because the lam is part of the fi'l, part of the word itself. It's not an additional lam. It's not a lam ziyada, and that's why it's different with lam in ism, which we've covered in last week. And yeah, if you have any questions, we can take a discussion Q&A after this, inshallah. So that's and we also discuss a little bit around tartil and waqaf. What does tartil means? What waqaf? What are the signs of waqaf? Stopping and pausing and stopping. If you missed that, you can watch the YouTube, the session, the recorded session in YouTube, inshallah. And if you still have any questions, we can discuss here. But as I mentioned, it's not part of tajweed. And we also discussed the main purpose of the Quran. We recite Quran with tajweed, which by reciting the Quran with tajweed, that would like slow us down, which the Quran is giving us a chance to think, to ponder, to tadabbur, to reflect, because of we read with tajweed, and hopefully that would give more understanding. And once we understand more, then inshallah it is easier to memorize, because in fact whenever we read anything, even outside of the Quran, if we reflect upon what we read, we would have a better have better memorization in terms of memorizing what we read. Inshallah, that's just the overview summary of the previous. Now we'll go into the next part, which is fil Mithlayn wal Mutaqāribayn wal Mutajānisayn. And I'll just quickly read the verses. بأسانيد المتصل إلى الناظم في المثلين والمتقاربين والمتجانسين إن في الصفات والمخارج اتفقوا حرفان فالمثلان فيهما أحق وإن يكون مخرجا تقاربا وفي الصفات اختلفا يلقبا متقاربين أو يكون اتفقوا في مخرج دون الصفات حققوا بالمتجانسين ثم إن سكن أول كل فالصغير سميا أو حرك الحرفان في كل فقل كل كبير وافهمنه بالمثل. So that's the verses of Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, and Mutajānisayn. That's the three parts that we are going to cover today. It's about idghām between letters. So idghām between letters. So when there are two letters, they like meet each other, whether they will do will read with izhar or idghām. How do they relate? That part we'll discuss today. And sorry, just check. Yeah. So all of those, maybe I'll skip this first. Some Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, Mutajānisayn, to understand, like to appreciate the concept, we will need to understand in general about makhraj and about sifat. So last week we discussed about tartil. So in Suratul Muzammil, waratil al-Qur'an tartila, and recite the Quran with tartil, But what does tartil means? What does tartil means? And Ali radiallahu anh answer that question. At-tartilu huwa tajwidul huruf wa ma'rifatul wuquf. At-tartil is reciting the letters, tajwidul huruf, with tajweed. Reciting the letters with tajweed, wa ma'rifatul wuquf, and to understand or observing the rules of waqaf. Waqaf is when to pause, when to stop, when to start. And if we remember from the first session, we also discussed what is tajweed. What's the definition of tajweed? It is this one. إخراج كل حرف من مخرجه مع إعطائه حقه ومستحقه. إخراج كل حرف. That is to bring out, to articulate every letter from their makhraj. What is makhraj? Exit points or articulation points, and giving their permanent and temporary characteristics or attributes or qualities. So if we summarize all of those, tartil actually have two aspects. If we go back to tartil, have two main aspects, tajweed and waqaf. Sorry, I think there's a question. There's something on the chat. Let me just. So tartil have two main parts, tajweed and waqaf and ibtida. And as I mentioned last time, waqaf and ibtida is a science on its own. So it's outside of tajweed. How do we stop? When do we stop? What are the waqaf signs, the stopping signs? When we should or should not stop when we are reciting? Like we shouldn't break. Let's say mubtada. What is it like in English? Yeah, we don't break like mudaf and the mudaf ilayh, but that's more in the Arabic. Like if we know the Arabic meaning, we need to know when to stop, when to start, and that's outside of tajweed. That's not part of tajweed. And tajweed, as per this definition, it covers makhraj and sifat. Makhraj and sifat. Makhraj is, you can say, articulation points, exit points, pronunciation points, and sifat is that characteristics, qualities, attributes, and that's what covered in tajweed. And sifat itself has, some are permanent, like it's always there, whether the letters in the front, in the middle, or at the end have a harakat or without harakat, it's always there. But temporary is something that changes depending on the situation. And so far, like what we've learned about idhar, idghām, iqlab, ikhfa. For example, nun sakina. We can see that nun sakina have many temporary characteristics. Like it depends what's the letters after nun sakina, then it will change, become idhar, idghām, or ikhfa. That's why it's called temporary characteristics. And maybe I'll touch the sifat first. That's what temporary characteristics, like ikhfa, iqlab, idghām, and also there are other characteristics like tafkhim, tarqiq, and others. So in terms of the permanent characteristics, there are some that have like some without opposites and some with opposites. If you have read or maybe know about some of them, like jahr, hams, shiddah, rakhwa, those are the examples of sifatul permanent. And to learn all of this, it's not just learning the theory. So I find it maybe it's a bit difficult if you want to learn all of them in one course, like because you need to practice. So it's easier for you to learn with your, if you have, let's say if you have a teacher that you meet him or her like every day or maybe every week, and you recite the Quran, or maybe you read the Quran from your memory to your teacher, and at that time it's easier to introduce one sifat one by one sifat one by one, like slowly. Maybe like this week just jahr and hams, and after a few weeks shiddah and rakhwa. So that's how I think it's how do you would learn the sifatul huruf, not just like everything in 1 month, or for example, that's a bit, I would find that it's a bit harder to be memorized. So that's the sifat in general. tajweed, about sifat of the letters, and makhraj, articulation, exit points. So exit points in general there are 5. If we from this one is al-jawf, is the oral passage, or the throat, like the alleyway. You know, when you say a, e, u, it's not originating from any points. Like it's like from within the inside. A, e, u. That's al-jawf, or the oral passage, and or oral. I think the US got a oral cavity, I think, and the throat. So throat, like the idhar of nun sakina, the throat, hamza, like that's the throat, and the tongue, or the lisan. And then if we move forward, lisan, the lips. So lips, fa is just one lip, but like the mim, ba, that's lips, and then the nasal passage, the nun and mim, and khayshum. And these are like the like the cheat sheets of like where are the Arabic letters come from. So that's just a summary of reminder what is tajweed covers, makhraj and sifat, and the detail of makhraj, the sifat of permanent, that's in muqaddimah jazariyah, not in Tuhfatul Atfal. So Tuhfatul Atfal only the temporary characteristic, like we have learned so far, like idhar, ikhfa, idghām, and so on. Okay. Now, how does so I hope that any questions so far in terms of makhraj and sifat in general before I carry on with the Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, Mutajānisayn? No? Hope that's clear. And now that's hopefully that refresh you a little bit about what is tajweed, makhraj, and sifat. How does that relate with Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, Mutajānisayn? Because it talks about idghām between letters. So idghām between letters, we can see them from makhraj and sifat point of view, and also from the harakat point of view. But we'll be focusing more on the makhraj and sifat. So if they have the same makhraj, same sifat, that is called al-Mithlayn or Mithlayn. And the idghām will be named as idghām Mithlayn or idghām mutamathilayn. And normally it's only like the same letters. So if it's the same letters, it will have same makhraj, same sifat, because it's the same letters. But if,
Same letters.
yeah,
Must be.
yeah, same letters and
Like a tanween,
tanwin.
like a tanween.
No, same letters. Let's say ra and let's say lam and lam, mim and mim. Yeah,
Like a tanween.
tanwin.
Like a double huruf. Double.
Shadda, or yeah, shadda or tashdid. Yeah. And if the makhraj or the exit points are close and read as idghām, that will be called as Mutaqāribayn. And if it's on the same makhraj but they are different sifat, that's called Mutajānisayn. That's the naming. And we're going to see, and we'll touch this later, but the harakat, and this is just a table representation of that diagram. just for your notes. We'll skip this. So, and let's see one by one, starting from Mithlayn. So in في الصفات والمخارج اتفاق حرفان فالمثلان فيهما أحق. So Sheikh Sulaiman al-Jamzuri said, if the sifat and makhraj are mutafaq is agree, as in they are the same, then the both letters harfani fal mithlani, then they are called as mithlayn. For example, فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. Can you see which one is the mithlayn, which letters? Yeah, it's the ta. ربحت تجارة. That's ta followed by ta again, and it's idghām. And this idghām mithlayn. Another example. It's a bit slow. كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم. Which lam? Yeah. Lam followed by lam again. وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Last one. بأيكم المفتون. Yeah, that's yeah and yeah. So yeah and yeah, that's the mithlayn. So it's the basic, because they are the same letters. Of course, they will have the same makhraj, same sifat. But just a note on waw and ya, there's some maybe not exceptions, but let me just next slide. So waw and ya, we'll touch about this later, about mad letters, like this one. قالوا وهم فيها. As you can see, it's waw and waw, but it's not idghām. So what's the difference between that and that? So the shadda, shadda is just a sign that's to help us, but it's a different letter. So this one is called mad. So mad letters, they're actually from jawf, like olu, ooh, that's just from jawf. But this one, let's say we stop at aw. Kaluhum aw. Aw, it's the same makhraj and sifat, like if we say wa. Aw wa. That's the same makhraj and same sifat. So the huruf lin, like in this case waw and this waw, it's same makhraj and same sifat. But this one, the form is same, but the makhraj is different. Makhraj is different. Qalu wahum. It's not qalu wahum, but qalu wahum. And same for ya. This one. Fi yawmin. Fi yawm. It's not fi yawm. We don't idghām the ya, the first ya to the second ya, because this one is called mad letters. Mad. So we'll touch about mad actually next topic after this. But that's mad is mad in
letters.
letters.
Yeah, they call it mad letters. They call it in Tuhfat.
And huruf al-mad.
Yeah, mad.
Huruf al-mad mad tabi'i. Yeah, mad tabi'i. It's so the huruf al-mad is alif, waw, and ya, 3 letters. after inshallah that will be the next chapter, inshallah. But that's just to give you some awareness. That's Mithlayn. So it's not an exception because we know that's a different makhraj. Okay, that mud. So that's Mithlayn. Same makhraj, same sifat. And the second one, Sheikh Sulaiman al-Jamzuri said, وَإِن يَكُونَ مَخْرَجًا تَقَارَبَ وَفِي الصِّفَاتِ اخْتَلَفَ يُلَقَّبَ مُتَقَارِبَيْن. So if the two letters are close, the qarib, they're close in makhraj, but different in terms of sifat, then they're called Mutaqāribayn. Like this one, وَقُلْ رَبِّ اغْفِرْ وَارْحَمْ وَأَنْتَ خَيْرُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Lam and Ra, they're close. وَقُلْ is not وَقُلْ رَبِّ. And like this one, أَلَمْ نَخْلُقْكُمْ. أَلَمْ نَخْلُقْكُمْ. So we idghām the qaf to kaf. Alam nakhluqkum. And like lam shamsiya, idghām in nun sakina, ikhfa in nun sakina. They are all, like in theory, they are close. Like nun, for example, in lam idghām in nun sakina. What are the letters of idghām in nun sakina? So for example, ya and nun, they are quite close in terms of makhraj. So if we just go to makhraj, I think not this one. So nun is here and ya, like they're quite close. Like the all of the ikhfa letters with nun, they're quite close. Or in the lam, they're quite close. Nun and mim, nun, and that's like in theory, that's how they have they have a strong possibility or strong potential to do to be read as idghām or ikhfa because of the close makhraj. But that's just like the theory to help us understand. And as I mentioned last time, all of the readings, the recitation in the Quran, we learn from our teachers how do they read, how do they recite, and we follow that. And all of this theory is just like a supporting, like to support our understanding. So if for example, if the theory, let's say the theory, based on the theory or logically, it should be read or recite like a certain way, but our teacher, our sheikh said, oh no, you should read this with idhar or read this with idghām, and we follow that, like riwayah. We discussed about riwayah last time, and yeah, all of the theory are just to support. So where we at? Well, Mutaqāribayn. Yeah, that's the Mutaqāribayn. So Mithlayn is same makhraj, same sifat. Mutaqāribayn is qarib, is close in makhraj. And last one is Mutajānisayn. متقاربين أو يكون اتفق في مخرج دون صفات حقوق بالمتجانسين. So if they agree in makhraj, as in they're on the same makhraj, then they are confirmed or as mutajanisayn. So that's why if we would like to know what are the letters that came out from the same makhraj? That's what we need to learn makhraj. And let's take a look at that again. Makhraj and letters. Sorry, I think there's a chat. Let me just take a look. Are there exceptions for letters of? There was a question. Are there exceptions letters for miscellaneous? That was the mud letters. So makhraj, and so we discussed about Mutajānisayn. Same in makhraj, but they have different sifat. Same makhraj. So if we can see from here, or we can think, what are the letters that came out from the same exit points? Like from the front is ba, mim, and fa. That's from the same makhraj. Ba, mim, ba, ma, fa. But this one, sa, tha, wa. It's the same. Tha, tha, wa. It's the same. Or this one, ta, da, po. It's the same makhraj. Ta, da, po. It's the same makhraj. So like those examples, they will have some idghām because of the same makhraj. So if we take a look, Mutajānisayn. Let's do this one instead. Okay. So let's start from this one. So I think we discussed about ba, ma, and fa. So like ba and mim, that's like same makhraj. So it will be read as idghām. For example, ya bunayya. Sorry. Yeah, that's it. Ya bunayya arkam ma'ana wa la takum ma'al kafirin. As you can see that the ba and mim, we do idghām, but not the other way around. The other way around, it's what's the other way around? It's not idghām. Shafawi. So this way is idghām. That's ba and ma. That's all for the shafatain, or for the lips. And if we, let's see, tha, tha, and va. Tha, and va. So one is tha and tha. Tha and tha. And this one, Araf, if we read wasal, أو تتركه يلهث ذلك. So يلهث ذلك. If we read wasal, fa and that are read with idghām. يلهث ذلك. يلهث ذلك. يلهث ذلك. So that's fa, that. So tha and that. And another one is on the same makhraj, tha and dha. Tha and dha. ولو أنهم إذ ظلموا أنفسهم. So as you can see, it's we idghām the that to letter va. That to the il. So we don't read il. That's like two letters il, but we insert. So what is idghām means? Idghām is to merge, to insert. That's why we merge the thou to the il. So we insert the thou to the. Or this one il إِذْ ظَلَمْتُمْ. So that's for the wa. It's only those two. And for ta, da, to, ta, dal, and to, there are a few. Maybe this one, like wala ana abidum ma abadtum. Abadtum. So we insert or we merge dal to ta. So we don't read abadatum. Abadtum. No, but we straight to ta. Straight to ta. Abadtum. Abadtum. As if the dal is gone, has gone away. What? Oh, this one. Wa in aradtum. Wa in aradtum. Wa in qad tabayyan. It's not qad tabayyan. It's not qad tabayyan or qad tabayyan. But we insert merge straight to ta. Qad tabayyan. And same the other way around. Ta to dal. Ta to dal. Ujibu. Sorry. Ujibad da. Ujibad da'watukuma. Or this one. This one is afqalad da. Afqalad da'wa Allah. So we insert ta to dal. We merge. So those are like the maybe this one before the last one. Wadda ta'ifa fa'amana ta'ifa. So as if the ta is gone. Yeah. So we fa'amana ta. It's not fa'amanat ta, but when we should go, we read directly to ta. However, this one is a bit different. Ta to ta. So ta to ta, that's a bit different. As you can see, this one, la im basalta, la im basalta. You can recite after me. La im basalta, la im basalta. So there's still the sifat of ta. So as if we're about to say la im basalta, but when we read the last the harakat, we change to ta. La im basalta. So there's still that heaviness of ta, but in the harakat we change to ta. La im basalta. So this also called as like idghām naqis, as in like the idghām is not perfect. So that's, let me just. So most of the idghām in Hafs Shatibiyah, in riwayat Hafs Shatibiyah, like about 90%, everything is called idghām kamil, or it's the perfect idghām. Perfect idghām, as in with, normally we can see the signs with tashdid or with shadda. That means the first letter is like it's gone. There's no remaining sifat from the first letter, or from for example this one, there's no lam altogether, like qur rabbi abadtum min ni'mah. So the first letter, when we insert the first letter to the second letter, the first letter is gone. However, in idghām naqis, like this one, basalta, tafarraqtum. There's still some sifat of the like in like the strong letter, like ta is a strong letter, so the sifa is still there. Sifa is still there. Basalta farraqtum. But yeah, as I mentioned, most of the idghām are in Hafs Shatibiyah as idghām kamil. Idghām kamil. Let me just check. And the last one, that's Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, Mutajānisayn. So if we go back to the summary of, so that's the summary. Mithlayn, same makhraj, same sifat. If it's close in makhraj, qarib, Mutaqāribayn. If they're same type in makhraj, like in same makhraj, same jins, it's Mutajānisayn. So there's a typo here. Mutajānisayn. So that's the like the summary of Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, Mutajānisayn, like the theory. As long as you at least this you need to know how to read. Like as I mentioned, most of them idghām in Hafs Shatibiyah is idghām kamil, so it's easy, except those that are that we in Mutajānisayn that we discussed, which is this one, la'im basalt or basalta farraqtum. But as you can see, there's no shadda, there's no tashdid in the ta. It's different with this one. When we idghām lam to ra, the ra has shadda. Same, this one, dal and ta, the ta have shadda. Nun, the second letter have shadda, but this one, the second letter doesn't have shadda. That means there's still some sifat, some characteristics of the first letter that we still need to read that. That's like the heavy of the plot. So that's the summary. Actually, in terms of I'll need to because there's still time. I want to add one more about Mithlayn. But Mithlayn, there's an exception. Let me just, I forgot to add them to the slide. Bear with me. Let me just add them now. While waiting for me to open the material, if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know in the lobby or on the chat. So in terms of harakat, it can be like when we idghām the first letter to the second letter, most of the, or actually all of the idghām in Hafs, riwayah Hafs Shatibiyah, everything will have the first letter sukun and the second is with harakat. But in other riwayah, there are some idghām that actually both of them are have harakat, but they do idghām. Yeah, but not in riwayah Hafs and Asim.
So,
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that's actually it's yeah. Maybe I'll apologize, not in terms of idghām, but in terms of Mithlayn. Yeah. Not related to idghām, but it's just in terms of Mithlayn, because normally in other Mithlayn, normally it's idhar, like a'anzartahum is idhar, except for, sorry, I should explain that. So yeah, Hamza and Hamza in Hafs Shatibiyah read as idhar, except for this this ayah. It's not idhar, it's read as tashil or ibdal. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah. So it's not related to idghām, but in terms of Hamza and Hamza normally idhar, but in this case, in this surah, it's tashil or ibdal, and not idhar. But again, this is just an additional outside of the idghām, Mithlayn, idghām Mutaqāribayn, idghām Mutajānisayn. The focus of our topic is this one. So the focus is this chapter talks about the relation between two letters. They can be on the same makhraj and same sifat, or they can be close in makhraj, different in sifat, or they can be same in makhraj but different in sifat. And there are some idghāms and the examples that we've discussed today. And inshallah, everything is, if you follow the signs, you would know how to read. And just the exceptions, or maybe just not exceptions, just make note of that. Ta and ta, you would still have the sifat of ta when you read, about to read the ta. Basal. That's pretty much that I want to cover today. Let me.
Brother Ifan just asked about idghām khabir, saghir and kabir.
Sorry. What is idghām saghir and kabir? Yeah, what is idghām saghir and kabir? It's a good question. So if we read this one, yeah. So if we read this one, what is idghām? Question is, what is idghām saghir and kabir? So all of the idghām in Hafs Shatibiyah is considered as idghām saghir. That is when the first letter is sukun and the second letter is harakat. It's mentioned here. ثم إن سكن أول كل فالصغير سميا. If the first letter is sukun and the second letter is harakat, then it is called as idghām saghir. However, if the two letters have harakat, then it's called idghām kabir. But we don't have in Hafs Shatibiyah, like we don't do idghām kabir. That's for other qira'ah, other riwayah. So, and if we can see, let's see one examples of that. Like this one, Rabihat Tijara. The first ta is sakina, sukun, and the second is with harakat, and it's called idghām saghir. Idghām saghir. Small, saghir is more like small effort to do the idghām. But in other riwayah, there's some like both are with harakat, but read as idghām. But we don't do that in Hafs Shatibiyah. Inshallah, that's pretty much. Any questions?
Sorry, just want to confirm. So, for example, that A'anzartahum or al riwayah, they do it as idghām kabir.
No, some other Idghām Kabir, I can give examples. Let me think, I have it here in my notes. No, that was not related to Idghām. That is just in terms of idhar, because Mutamathilayn, like Mithlayn, is when one letter followed by another letters and they both have same makhraj, same makhraj and same sifat. That's from the makhraj and sifat point of view. So normally for Hamza, if that's the case, it will be read as idhar, except for those tashil or ibdal.
Okay, so even for Hamza and Hamza with the other riwayat, they don't do idgham at all.
In other riwayah, like in Warsh, a'anzartahum, they actually do tashil, for example. Yeah, like anzartahum, anzartahum, something like that. And Idghām Kabir, maybe I don't want to confuse, because that's not part of Hafs Shatibiyah, but I can give you examples later, maybe yeah, separately. If you want to know, just want to know about Idghām Kabir, but that's not Hafs in Shatibiyah. So you want unless you read or learn about other riwayah, then yeah. Any questions? And for the, inshallah, we'll try to upload we still missed one of the recorded session 4 Ikhfa. Inshallah, we'll try to upload them in a few weeks. And while waiting, if you want to think about any other questions related to the today's topic or previous topic, or any other tajweed in general, feel free to let me know or put in the chat. And while waiting for that, I'll just read this hadith. So the hadith number 6 from the Arba'un Quraniyah. So sorry, this one, actually the title is incorrect, so maybe I'll just jump into, yeah, the title is incorrect, so it should be, the title should be the virtues of reciting the Quran in our prayers. So from وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أيحب أحدكم إذا رجع إلى أهله أن يجد فيه 3 خليفات عظام سمان. قلنا نعم. قال ف3 آيات يقرأ بهن أحدكم في صلاته خير له من 3 خليفات عظام سمان. رواه مسلم. So Abu Hurairah reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asking the Sahaba, would you like when you return to home, to family, to find 3 large and fat pregnant like female camels? Then they replied, of course, like yes, we would like them. And just to make note that at that time, like during that time, like the what do you call it, the most prized wealth, possession, the most precious wealth is a camel, like a female camel who is pregnant. Like on these days, maybe what are the most precious wealth in, like in New Zealand, maybe a house, for example. So the answer is yes, we would like those. Then Rasulullah SAW replied that he said three verses from the Quran which you recite on your prayer is better than those three large fat camels. So imagine that reciting three ayah is three ayah in our salah, in our prayer, like it's better from compared to three things in dunya. So that's like a motivation for us that we should try to recite more in our prayer. That means we need to recite from our memory. So we try to commit more. Yeah, Khalifat is we need to recite from our memory. And if you want to recite more long surah, that means you need to stay up for the night prayers, the night praise. And if we do muraja'ah, if we want to repeat muraja'ah, our Quran memory, try to do it on your prayer, so you have more rewards. Allahu a'lam. That's the sixth hadith. Inshallah, I'll share the hadith. I'll fix the title of the hadith later before sharing the PDF. Let me just check if there's any other question.
Three large.
To find, yeah.
Three large, not three.
Oh, yeah, three. Yeah.
To find there.
There.
Oh, there. Sorry.
Yeah. To find.
There 3 lakhs.
That's why I had three.
Inshallah, that's pretty much that we want to cover today. And for this year, we're planning to have another one last session for this year, and then we continue. This one should be 2021, inshallah. Inshallah. So type of mad, that will be the last for this year, because I know you boys will be before some break. Do you think you want do you think that's okay to start on 17th of January?
17th January.
That's about 2 weeks from Jan.
Yes, 6 weeks.
Just ask them, man. Usually maybe we can go.
I don't think we can.
Do you think you can?
You can or you
We'll
can't.
be in the Hex course.
Why?
We'll be in the Hex course, and that's it. Hex course.
Oh, yeah, Almanac.
Almanac, yeah, Hex course.
But you're off. You off. What day you off? Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, Thursday and Friday. Wow.
Oh, Thursday and Friday.
Thursday we go home. I think Saturday.
And when will be the last time?
Yeah, I think we can, because Saturday we go at
After
Asar.
yeah, 5 o'clock.
Yeah. we
Oh,
can.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday.
we can.
So come here, after here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can. That sounds good.
It's on Sunday. That's not a Saturday. Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, no.
Sunday we're not.
You off from the Almanac. Come here for an hour.
Can't.
Well,
There's
can
7 hours ngaji over there. Every
7
day.
hours. No, no, for day. From 2:30 until 3:30 off. Up to your chef.
Shoot Allah.
Up to you, up to you.
Thursdays, comes. This is very important ngaji.
Or you can use from the phone.
We have fun
I don't
there.
have phone there.
You have to come here. Talk to you there. Take your number, okay?
6 weeks, no phone. Why you banned from it?
Inshallah, if there's no further questions, that's pretty much what we want to cover today. Mithlayn, Mutaqāribayn, Mutajānisayn. About those Hamza, those exceptions, if maybe it's a bit confusing at the moment because it's a bit different about compared to what we discussed. Don't worry about that because we're going to touch that later, inshallah. Okay, and let's together close with the dua kafaratul majlis. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa jazakumullah khair.
Empty the rubbish bin, please. You the last one. You the last one.